Hi friends, this is Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing. Welcome. I'm so glad you've joined me today. Be sure to subscribe and stop by again for more videos. Today I'm sharing a process video, and it's sort of an odd combination of a large batch of cards, but also I wanted to show you how I go through my scraps, and there's a lot of different parts to this video. And then at the end, I'm going to show you some up closes of some of the finished cards. I'm using So Lovely, and I have other videos on it, and I'm laying them out based on pieces that I have left. So a lot of you have asked how I layer my cards and how I decide what to use. It isn't always based on a design point or color or anything. It's sheerly based on what's left. So you see me going through these pieces and then setting aside certain ones in my little tub from Dollar Tree. And those are the ones that I don't think are the right size for me. And at this point, I'm making cards for someone who has commented that they like the spools paper. So I'm trying to use every bit of those thread spools that I can. And those papers, that paper is easy to work with because it has a lot of different colors in it. When I work with a paper pad, I try to use the multicolored papers to bring in the others. And I'm going to have a video coming up. Christine asked for information about some of my sketches that I use, and card sketches are available online. That's a concept, but I don't necessarily use somebody else's sketches, but if you watch my videos, you'll see that I repeat. Like the one that I just finished up above, I'm dividing that card front into thirds. Then I just did the same thing. I divide them into thirds a lot because it gives me a starting point to work with. It works aesthetically. And if you have the whole big front of the card, sometimes, especially as a new card maker, it can be a little overwhelming. You get stumped, you look at it. You'll notice I'm putting these card fronts together. I don't build on the actual card base, the paper that we fold to make the card. I don't build on that unless I'm doing like a one-layer card where I'm stamping on it and coloring or doing something that's a one-layer technique. Otherwise, going onto my card base, it's preferably the last step that I do. These are bits, British people I think would call them bits and bobs that were left over, and I've selected some ribbons and different things. And the idea is just to pull in interesting layers and colors and give myself a nice base to build on. That card is pretty much wrapped up, and that green floral, it doesn't exactly match. It's like a yellow green. That was an embellishment where I had those petals already. Those were in one of my friend's throwaway piles, and I saved them. So I didn't select the colors, but I thought they worked okay, and it was fun, and I wanted to use it. I also try and bring in themes. Because these cards are fabric-based and sewing notions, I've brought in different threads. So you can see right there for the flower to layer on. And it doesn't matter if the thread is glued down really well, as long as it shows and you have some texture. And I used the Hello die cut and layered that up. I don't always have a roadmap. Sometimes I just see where it takes me. And then for reasons I can't quite understand, I'm using a sort of dark card base. This video was... some of these are for my mom for Mother's Day. So I made this video a while ago, but couldn't release it because sometimes she wanders in and out of my channel. So you'll see like I still had Hermodado in this video, and my art glitter glue was running out. It's because it's from a while ago. So I'll release it either the afternoon of Mother's Day or maybe the next day. And here you can see I don't have set measurements when I'm doing these cards about how big the paper that has the spools on it should be, or how big the vertical strip that divides the paper into thirds should be. It is just trial and error or what's sitting on the table. If you watch me craft, I'm messy, and lots of times I just grab what's there and use it. Here I've decided to use a circle and foam mount it up, so I punched out of a package another circle to use cardboard and give it dimension. Sorry, I got off the frame a little bit there, but I think I'm going to recover pretty soon. There we go. I really like that die, that hello die on a circle. That's a lot of fun, and it's my die, and I have that circle punch, so I can repeat that. Some of the stuff I use is borrowed, so it comes and goes. In the videos, sometimes it's hard to tell the dimension, but I use a lot of foam mount. Here, I'm using a variegated thread that's really fun. I'm not really sure where it came from. And shoving some glue in there, and then I'm going to put foam mount over the whole thing. And again, if you use thread and it moves, that's fine. That's the point of it, right? Don't worry about how to attach it or overthink it. Just put it on there. It'll be fine. And here I'm putting it onto the card base as my last step, then adding some Wink of Stella to that hello. It would have been super smart to add the Wink of Stella before, but when you have that much dimension and it's lifted up, you can add it at the very end. Then this piece of paper, I loved this paper, but it was a little hard to work with because the colors didn't quite match the rest of the paper pad, and those big flowers I was trying to work around. So that's why I just put the washi tape up in the corner to narrow the background area a little bit, but add some interest. And sorry, I got off frame again. I think I'm gonna scoot back in shortly. And then I have the thanks. The thanks I got at a garage sale, so I don't know the brand or anything, but I like that it has a very heavy font and a little bit of intricacy and detail to it. It has a pattern on it, which I think goes really nice with that formal floral pattern. And then I tried to figure out what else to do with it, and I'm just struggling. And I wanted you to see that, you might only see a finished card, or lots of times when people show you a process video, they've made one off to the side, and then they'll show you a video where they know exactly what to use. They have all the supplies laid out and it works perfectly. I want you to see that that's not really how life is, and don't set the bar at that level for yourself. Just roll with it and have fun. In the end, I used some thread to add a little something and give the thanks a little more scale. Here, I did a really bad job because I kept getting off camera, but I'm doing one of those wrap around your fingers bows, and I'll try and remember to link. I have a video where I show those, so I can link to that elsewhere. And then I'm stamping out a thank you and punching it with a circle punch, and then I decide to ink the edges of it. You don't see me ink edges a lot, but that is a technique that I love. You just have to remember to do it before you start gluing things down. This card, it seemed a little plain, but in the end I left it that way. I couldn't really figure out what I wanted to do with it, and it was kind of cute. So I left it that way. I think it's nice to try different patterns and not always gravitate towards your habit. I'm just adding the glue to layer it up. Then I'm using different strips. That paper, I'm not sure if you can tell, but it's scissors. It's like scissors cutting on a pattern in the background. So kind of fun for quilters and seam sewers, just different people who would be interested in that. And it's like the dots they put on patterns. Here, I'm trying to figure out what to do with those asymmetrical strips. I don't always have two left, right? So do them asymmetrically. It'll work. That one in the upper left with the spools, I didn't have a piece of paper big enough to layer behind the spools, so that's why I used the two little ones. Just be super flexible and try things out, and you might find that your mistake is your favorite new card layout. And if you look at my cards, I do use a lot of the same designs, and I like circles, so I use my circle punches a ton. I have probably 3 or 4 sizes of them. Okay, so this is how that card turned out. In the end, I put "You're So Special" on it. I don't love the "You're So Special," but it's okay. It worked. This one I like. I used a scallop punch and a circle punch and buttons, and it says hello, and I have a scrap of the spools inside. That was probably just a tiny strip on one of the papers. And this one, I like how this one turned out. It's got thread and a lot of texture. And then inside, it's got the measuring tape. This one was not in this video very much, except for the very beginning. It was laid out. I didn't have the process film on it. But I just used thread and pink brads. and I think that one was pretty funny. This one's kind of like a junk journal card. I probably won't give this one to my mom. I'll keep it for something else, but I like it, and I used that fabric that I had been testing the zigzag from the machine on. So there you go. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you're having a great week. Bye-bye.